First off, I'd like to apologize for my audio. As you can tell, I am an amateur. What you read in the title is true. Yes, polls prove that Bernie is more electable than Hillary Clinton. Bernie Sanders is more electable in the general election than Hillary Clinton. All of you who are afraid to vote for Bernie because you don't think he can win in the general election, you can quarrel your suspicions. You don't have to be afraid. Yes, you can vote for Bernie in the primary and vote for him in the general, and he can win the election. He beats Hillary Clinton head to head in the polls when you go against a Republican. As you can see here, if it was Clinton versus Trump in the general election, Clinton would beat Trump right now 47% to 41%. However, if it was Bernie versus Trump in the election, Bernie would beat Trump 49% to 41%. That's a +8. Yes, that is more than Hillary would beat Trump. And it goes down the line. The only tie between Clinton and Bernie is a head-to-head against Rubio. And it's only a +1 for the Democrat in each race. But other than that, Bernie beats these guys by more than Hillary would beat them, which would mean he's more electable. He beats Cruz 49 to 39. That's a +10. That's a landslide. And finally, Bernie would beat Carson 47 to 41, a +6. Clinton would only beat Carson 46 to 43, +3. That's a tight race. So all you who are afraid to vote for Bernie because you don't think he can win the general election, you are wrong. These polls prove it. Bernie Sanders is more electable than Hillary Clinton. By the way, if you dig into these polls, you will find some interesting numbers. You don't have to be afraid. Yes, you can vote for Bernie in the primary and vote for him in the general, and he can win the election. 51% of Americans, of the American voter, have an unfavorable view of Hillary Clinton. That's over half the American public. Now, Bernie is 44% favorable and only 31% unfavorable. So he's +13 in that category. And that's best of any candidate in the Republican or the Democratic field. 60%, 60%, view Clinton as not honest or trustworthy. That's a lot. Whereas 59% of the American people think Bernie Sanders is honest. So nearly the same amount of people, 6 of every 10 Americans, view Clinton as dishonest, and nearly 6 in 10 of every American view Bernie Sanders as honest. That's more people view her as dishonest than Trump. That's serious. Now, Bernie carries the independent voters as well. This is important in the general election, as everyone knows. Now, Clinton versus head-to-head versus Rubio, she loses independent votes to Rubio. She also loses the independent vote to Carson. Yes, let me repeat that. Hillary Clinton in a head-to-head matchup versus a Republican, versus specifically Rubio and Carson, loses the independent vote. While on the other hand, Bernie versus a head-to-head Republican, specifically Rubio and Carson, carries the independent vote. He carries the independent vote over Rubio by 6 points, and he carries the independent vote over Carson by 7 points. Again, Clinton versus Rubio or Carson in a general election loses the independent vote, while Bernie carries the independent vote for versus every Republican in the field. Some more good news for Bernie. 24% of the people polled still have not heard enough about Bernie, or haven't heard about him at all. Among registered Democrats, 24% haven't heard of him, and 24% of independents also haven't heard of him or enough about him to even make an opinion about him. So that's a lot of room for growth. That's a very positive thing. More unfavorable data for Clinton. Nearly 9 in 10 Republicans find Clinton unfavorable. 89% of Republicans find Clinton unfavorable. You say maybe that's not surprising because they're Republicans, right? Well, only 58% find Bernie Sanders unfavorable. Only 58%. Nearly 9 in 10 Republicans find Clinton unfavorable. Only 58% of Republicans find Bernie unfavorable. Over half, 56%, over half of independents find Clinton unfavorable, while only 29% find Bernie unfavorable. And when asked, would you say that Hillary Clinton is honest or not? 68% of independents say no, while only 25% say no for Bernie. 91% of Republicans say Hillary Clinton is not honest, while only 45% of Republicans think Bernie Sanders is not honest. 23% of Democrats find Hillary Clinton not to be honest, while only 11% of Democrats find Bernie to be unhonest. So almost 1 in 4 Democrats find Hillary Clinton unhonest, not honest, dishonest, untrustworthy, while only 1 in 10 Democrats find Bernie not trustworthy. By the way, only 3% of the people polled, so 3% of the American public haven't heard enough about Hillary to make an opinion about her. Only 3%, while 24% of independents and Democrats haven't even heard of Bernie, which, by the way, lets us know we have to do our job even more to get his name out there so that people can hear about him, so people can make an opinion about him. And 9 times out of 10, if they hear him, they'll like him. Matter of fact, they'll love him. They'll feel the burn. That'll put more support behind him. So we have to do our part to get his name out there. Finally, the question was, would you say Hillary Clinton cares about the needs and problems of people like you or not? Among independents, 56% of independents say no, Hillary Clinton does not care about the needs and problems of people like them, independents. 56%. That's over half of the American people who identify themselves as independent do not think that Hillary Clinton cares about the needs and problems of them. 84% of Republicans say no, Hillary Clinton does not care about the problems and needs of them. 15% of Democrats say no, and 42% of women say no, Hillary Clinton does not care about the needs and problems of people like you, like them, like women, while 51% of the total population says no, she doesn't care about the problems, their needs. So 56% say no, 56% of independents say no, Hillary Clinton doesn't care about their needs. 84% of Republicans say no, Hillary Clinton does not care about their needs. 15% of Democrats say no, Hillary Clinton doesn't care about their needs. 42% of women say no, Hillary Clinton does not care about their problems and their needs. And 51% of the total population says no, Hillary Clinton does not care about their needs and their problems. On the other hand, Bernie Sanders, when asked the same question, Would you say Bernie Sanders cares about the needs and problems of people like you or not? Only 30% of independents say no. 59% of Republicans say no. 59% of Republicans, anyway, 15% of Democrats say no, Bernie doesn't care, which is the same percentage Hillary. So that should say something. 32% of women, when asked that question, say no. That's 10% less than women who say that Hillary doesn't care about their needs. And a total of the population, say 35% of the total population, say Bernie doesn't care about their needs and their problems, compared to 51. And lastly, when asked, would you say Hillary Clinton shares your values? 60%, 60% of independents say no, Hillary Clinton does not share my values. 91% of Republicans say no, Hillary Clinton does not share my values. 15% of Democrats say no, she doesn't share my values. 45% of women asked, would you say Hillary Clinton shares your values? Said no, 45%. And a total of 55% of the population said Hillary Clinton does not share their values. 55% of the total population. On the other hand, Bernie, when asked, would you say Bernie Sanders shares your values? 45% of independents said no, compared to 60% of independents said no for Hillary. 71% of Republicans said no. Again, 91% said no for Hillary. 38% said no for women. 30% of women said no. Again, 45% of women said no for Hillary. And the total population, 44% said no. Look, as you can see, he is more electable than Hillary Clinton, as demonstrated in these latest Quinnipiac polls